Okay, in this video we're going to look at sessions. In the previous video we looked at when we this login page, when we typed in our username, which was CCT, the password was Dublin, capital D, we logged in and it gave this message, successfully logged in. So if we look closely we can see that we're on the landing.php page, which is just a bit of text. So if I had test here, I save that, I would get this message. So the idea behind sessions is to keep track of who's logged in. So we want to create a page, a landing page, that when we try to visit that, it essentially doesn't allow us to access that page. So the first thing we need to do is we start a session, like so. Session start. Then we're going to check to see if a particular session variable has been set. So we have the session array and I have a named key called login user. So this login user is my named key and I'm setting that to my username, which is the row username from the table I have in my database, which we got from this select statement. So here we're checking to see if in our table, in a row, did we find our username. And if it found it, if the record count was greater than 0, we could then put it into a session variable called login user. Okay, so we can check then if this session variable has been set. So I copy this, I copy that, and I go to my landing page and I can put in if this particular variable is set. If it is set, then go to, or change the header to login.php. Sorry, if it is not set, so if this value login user has not been found or has not been set, and we go back to the login page. Okay, so what we want to do then is if we have successfully logged in other words my named key value login user has been set, I want to echo some kind of message. This is just for testing purposes. I'm going to echo session logged, you're now signed in. So I'm going to log in here now with my username, CCT, capital D, UBLIN. Log in, my session logged, you're now signed in. Now I can actually see what's in my session array by using the print array function, and I will print out my session variable. So see what's inside. Now my username or my login user was set to CCT, so that should be the value that shows. So I have my named key login user that is set to the value CCT. So if I go back here to the login screen and I type in a username and password that doesn't exist in my database, right? And then go back to my landing.php. I am still logged in. Okay, so my CCT, even though my password and my previous use was not correct, my session variable is still set. So you need to find a way to unset this. And you do this usually with a logout button. Okay, so I'll go back to my login screen and I might create a login button or login link. So I'll stick that at the top of the page. I have a link, href, and I'm going to send that to my login.php, like so. save that. Now I refresh this and I have a logout link. Now at the moment it's going to logout.php and I don't have a logout.php, so if I click on that, nothing will happen. So I go back again, I create a file called logout.php, and in this page I'm going to clear the session array. Type in PHP. I still have to start my session, so session start. My session array I'm going to set to an empty array, and then I'm going to destroy this session. So this is logging the user out. So if I save that, refresh this, now if I click on logout, we get a blank page. So I'll just put in logged out, save it, click on logout, and logged out. So now all my session variables have been unset, and if I try to go to my landing.php, click on enter, and I'm being redirected again to my login page. I try CCT, then I go put in my password, I log in, and now I've been logged in successfully again. Go back again, if I click on log out, I've been logged out. Try it again, go to landing.php, and now because I've clicked on logged out, everything has been unset. I click on enter, and I'm being redirected again to login.php. So note that we have a session start on each of our pages. So we have in our login, we have a start session. On our landing page, we have a start session. And if we want to log out, we also start a session. So for each session that we start, we're just allowing our PHP to either assign certain values to our session array, or to check certain values. So here we're checking. In the login, we're assigning certain values. So down here. And then our logout, we're starting the session in order to clear all the values.